Hello, everyone, and welcome to Create with Franz. Whether you are on YouTube or listening through your podcast, we're so happy to have you, especially if you are a woman over 50 and you are maybe feeling a little bit weird because you're such a team leader. You are good, everyone depends on you, you're amazing, you do everything, you're brilliant, but you're feeling like you're burning out. But you tried it all mindset reset and routines, discipline, motivation. It just from outside, you look amazing, everything is working, but there's AI coming in, and you're reinventing your career, and you feel like there's a big weight there. So, is this lack of motivation or is it something else? What's going on here? So, to help you, girls, you're young, 50 is young for me now. I got you a true expert, and that's Dr. Julie Merriman, who's coming all the way from Texas. And she is a specialist in this. So I'm going to ask her all about it. So by the end of the episode, you know exactly what's going on, why it's happening, and what you can do about it. You have half an hour to go. So welcome, Julie. I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be with you, friends.
It's so good. And tell us a little bit who you are and what you're actually doing. What is your job exactly?
Yeah. Well, I am a clinician. I'm a PhD prepared counselor and a professor. I teach people how to be counselors as well. I've been doing that about 30 years, and I'm also a yoga instructor. So I've got some goats out in the yard. Well, I live on a ranch, so out in the pasture where we do goat yoga from
Mm.
about once a month. But yeah, I have a private practice. I run a department at a university, and I write books and have podcasts, and I love everything burnout, compassion fatigue, and nervous system regulation.
I guess so because you're supposed to be burning out by now, right? Because you're doing 100 things like me.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, 63. I'm still going strong.
Yeah, and I'm 61. I'm adding new stuff. I was like, I can do this, and I can add this class. I can teach this other class, and then I'm
Right,
like,
right. Yeah.
I have no time for anything here. But I do know because I'm in all these business forums. I see women that are super qualified, either they can't get a job now because of AI, or if I have it, they're really burning out. So we're right here. We're trying to do it all, but it's not happening. From outside is all good, and inside is something. So you are talking about this productivity advice that we get from all the gurus. I'm not a guru, guys. So, and Tony Robbins, and it's always backfiring to
Yeah.
women because we are reinventing a career. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. We
Right.
don't have a genie in the bottle. We're trying to guess how are we going to use this so it doesn't kick me out of a job. It's so hard to do. And so we're transitioning to these roles that are more tech driven because we have so much tech to help us to do what we used to do all on our own. But you're feeling like this productivity advice, dividing, chunking the time, it's just not enough. So what's happening inside? That's my question. As you are the expert, I'll pass the ball to you.
And you're absolutely right. From the outside, we look like we got it all together and going on, right? But but on the inside, it's a different story. And productivity hacks really aren't our friend. But what's happening is our nervous system. We have three states of polyvagal system. When we are in ventral, we're very social and connected and regulated. But when we're in sympathetic, fight or flight, or in dorsal vagal, which is that dissociation from self, we're empty. We could be very numb. Our frontal cortex is not even available for meditation when we're in that state because it's trying to help us stay in survival mode, which our nervous system is doing exactly what it's trained to do. That little amygdala is searching for danger. And I tell you, when you bring a woman of my age, like I just now am being all integrated into AI because at the university, they're very concerned about how it's going to impact future students coming in. As a counselor, we're very concerned people getting online and getting AI advice instead of coming to counselors. So it really does force the point that we got to learn about that stuff, right? But my nervous system, her nervous system feels threatened, feels very dysregulated. Oh my God, I got to learn something else. I don't have enough space to learn something else. It can feel very, very big. And it's real. I mean, we really have to hold space for that and allow ourselves the ability to regulate.
I wonder if that's different in men because this is dedicated to women. So are we getting this worse because we have this mind that focuses on everything at the same time?
Right. Yes, isn't that the truth? I mean, think what we've done for 20, 30 years. I know my kids are 40, so I've been doing it 40 years, but we're raising a family. We're moving up in our careers. Well, no, first we're trying to get through grad school or whatever schooling we're going through, which is where our nervous system first gets introduced to this, oh my God, kind of situation. But we really, as women, become equated, our worth becomes equated to our performance. And that's really reinforced as we go through life. We get out of grad school or whatever school we went to, we're holding families together, we're keeping marriages together. We get to our age, estrogen, all those yummy hormones that kept us in tolerance and functioning when we were younger have, yeah, adios amiga, off they go. Even if we take replacements, it's still a little different. And and then we factor in, like I've got an 85-year-old mother who lives on a ranch down the road that I have to go and check on. So we factor in all these things on top of this career that we've just been like dog paddling, if you will, to keep that together. And by the time we reach 50, 60, our brain, we're done. I mean, we come to a point where there's a cumulative effect in our nervous system. And we realize, my God, what have I been doing to myself all this year? I mean, all the tolerance that estrogen helped our brain assimilate, we're now like, cannot do this anymore. So I think it's a really fun and exciting time for an awakening where we can build a life where we're adding all this stuff in that we really love. And there's not enough room for that stuff that wears us out, if you will. But it's yeah, women are really socialized to take on way more than I call it overcapacity than we have capacity to do. And and do we give ourselves any grace? No. Girl, what do we do? Push through. You'll make it. You just got to get it through today. And that really sends our nervous system signals that our body isn't safe. This isn't safe.
So how do we get this signal that we are not safe anymore? What's happening? How can we tell that it's something? Is it just a gut feeling because gut important? Or is it
Yeah.
something that is really happening to the body? We can actually say something wrong here.
Yeah. Well, really, it's all. But yes, you can actually feel it in your body. If you can think of a time, now for some ladies, it's setting a boundary where that's terrifying and their tummy gets upset and they start sweating and have to run to the potty. Or maybe it's like right now, I've taken my department through an accreditation visit, which we had visited about. And I have been, even though I know all this, I have been in fight or flight for a week now. And my husband, who I've been with for 40 years, I love him dearly. He went to touch me yesterday, and I'm so braced and so full of adrenaline and cortisol that and pressure. I'm pressuring myself. My God, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. Oh, and then I've got to pack the suitcase and fly to Iowa to hood my students this weekend. And oh my gosh, my brain is just racing, and my body. I was so braced when he touched me. God love him. It irritated me. I was like, oh, one more thing. I don't want to have to be romantic right now. But you feel your body bracing. All your energy centers are just locked up. That pelvic floor, is as tight. Um, Everything is tightened up when we are in that fight or flight. Or she might be in dorsal vagal where she is so numb and so dissociated from her body. You might ask her, aren't you excited to go see the grandkids this weekend? And she thinks, hell, I don't know how I feel. I have no feelings. You tell me, you know. So you're just so dissociated. So it does show up in the body. Our body is where we need to be living. But friends, I'll tell you, the ladies I work with are so dissociated from their bodies. They're these floating heads of competence that think they can think their way out of all this stuff. And we can't. We've got to, The issues are in the tissues, right? That old bumper sticker. We've got to get into the body to work through these things.
So there is a body issue. We're not really talking about, oh, I cannot do time management. It's not about routine. It's not about mindset. And it's really an inside nervous system injury, let's say, because we have neglected it for many years, thinking, oh, I can do it all. I had to prove to everyone I'm good like a man. I can do this. Yes, but the man goes home and then he switches off. Not the woman. She goes
No,
home
we
and never see other job.
Yeah, we stay in that stress cycle until that stress cycle completes. We're going to be revved up. And
Hmm.
I tell you what, people go, oh, go meditate or just take a bubble bath or get a massage. It's really gaslighting. Just do better at your self-care. Just do better at managing your calendar. It's like, yeah, I've got mine right here. It is very managed. I'm here to tell you, but that that only adds one more layer of pressure to the pressure cooker we're already in. It's not about better time management.
Hmm.
It's about getting that body regulated so you can live in it
Hmm.
and show up fully each day.
So wait. Does it mean that I'm so stressed that I don't have time to distress? Because they will make me more stressed.
That's right.
So
Who has time
distressing
for that?
is more stressing. I got you.
Just
So
compile it. And there's also that gaslighting component, like, oh, well, you're obviously not doing something right. Just do that better, which brings on shame and resentment and all those great emotions where we swallow our truth to keep the peace. And it's a cumulative effect. It really, to our poor little nervous system, our little amygdala is scanning, that little almond-shaped part of our brain is scanning the environment for, danger all the time. And girl, it is seeing it everywhere. When, and I don't mean like it's someone hiding in the bushes to, get us or a saber-toothed tiger, but it's, oh my God, did I forget that meeting? Oh my God, I'm 5 minutes late. All these things just keep impacting our nervous system.
wow. It's very obvious that something is going on here because we have the AI revolution and we have these amazing women who have built up a career, or they have a career and home, and they also have hobbies, and they have a
Right.
family, and they might have somebody with chronic disease, disability, injuries. They could be single women with kids. So they are. I think we are just juggling a lot of stuff and trying to be perfect because that's what we see, from I don't know, all these famous people online. We think everyone is like that. So let's go to a solution because we see what's going on. We see there's a nervous system issue. We see that we can't relax. We see that we are gaslighted by the people. And if we don't take the time off, we actually thinking, well, if I take time off, oh, I'm gonna clean up that corner I haven't done for 10 years. So
That's right. Gotta be productive. Gotta be productive.
I know I have that bug and I'm up at half past 6 in the morning and still like, oh, I'm just go like a train. Or I have to do this. I have a list that never ends. And then, oh, I didn't have time to play the piano or to draw, which is the two things I really like doing because there was so
Um,
much else. I'm gonna clean the fridge today. And I feel guilty. If a fridge needs cleaning and I'm drawing, I feel like, well, I should really be cleaning the fridge. I
right.
can't I can't switch off, can I? Because I feel guilty. I
Yeah.
run in the house. My husband is working all days. He's a professional. I'm home the whole day, so I have time for running the home. And some other people will be busy with lots of other stuff. And so this happens. So you're working with your patients, clients. They have a system of overload. So where do you take them, and how do you take them from A to B so we can actually take the cortisol down for a little bit and then
Right.
reframe? What do you do?
Yeah, you really stated that so beautifully, and that over capacity follows us where it just follows us. The very first thing we start small because I promise when you start working on yourself, it's messy. I mean, just plan on it. I'm licensed with the state as a counselor, and in my disclosure, I have to let them know, man, it's going to get worse before it gets better, but that's okay. Because I think we have this perfection that, one thing, I'm done, let's go. But it is not one and done. It's a slow, messy process that can be frustrating. And I think part of my roles with the gals I work with is to help them see those baby steps they're making, because we forget that perfectionistic piece you spoke of. We all, I like to say I'm in recovery, you know, which is why my hair is in a bun today. I thought, no, I can be okay with a with a bun and not washing my hair. But we're people pleasers. We want to be perfectionistic, which and we compare ourselves to things that we have no business comparing. The comparison is a cancer that we really need to put aside. But with my ladies, we're going to start small. We don't want to blow up the nervous system. So very first, I'm going to teach her a body scan, which from head to toe, just looking for physical sensations, no right or wrong. Um, because girl, we've been living in our head too much. We forget we even have a body. Um, so I want to get her embodied, and she'll say, "Oh, maybe I feel anxious today," and I'm like, "Where? Tell me where you feel it." And she might get a bit irritated with me because she's not used to going into her body to find those feelings and slow down. But you're building a new neural pathway, and that takes about 60 days. So you have to have self-compassion and curiosity. But I'm going to teach her how to get present. I'm also an EMDR therapist, and I work with patients that get very dissociated as we're working on trauma. Now, and all of us have trauma, big T, little t. But when we are really ramped up, I had to do it yesterday after my husband actually touched me. Not that it was his fault. I mean, it was me, it was within me. And I realized, like, man, I am dissociating and I'm not doing what I need to do. That's another strength. You begin for years. Franz, for years, I had no idea what was going on in my body. Now I learned to recognize, oh, I'm in sympathetic state. I need to do something here. And I try to help my ladies identify those states too. But when you're really amped up, to look around the room and name 5 things you see, name 4 things you feel, name 2 things you hear, and a big deep breath with a little bit more, and then where that vagus nerve is running through your throat, and that can help get you recentered, get that nervous system. I mean, if you've already got that adrenaline and cortisol dumping, you got to get that metabolized because we've been living on that cocktail a while. I tell you. Um, and then trying to start relax, learning to breathe into that. I'm also going to assign her now, if you were my client, I would say, sweetness, for 15 minutes on Saturday, I want you to do nothing but play that piano. I mean, it's a small goal, right? Just 15 minutes. Let's start small. I have a precious soul I'm working with, and I gave her first assignment to color on because she felt like that would be something fun. And the goal is to be non-productive. The goal is to just be present in your body. And when she reported back to me, she felt like she was going to crawl out of her skin when she tried to color. Yeah, I need to clean the refrigerator. I need to do a work report. I can't just sit and do nothing. Friends, how long have we had that message? From childhood forward, we learn that we get praise for being productive, for for doing stuff. So it's important to train your nervous system to calm the heck down.
I just have to wholeheartedly agree because I'm actually a coloring book artist among many other things. And I have all the time to do these books, which are incredibly complicated to draw. Took me ages, but now I don't really have time to color them because, yeah, I can't afford it because I got so much I want to do. But at least I am forcing myself and say, okay, I get up in the morning, prayer, scripture study, go downstairs, do a bit of breakfast, and then go straight to the piano because otherwise the whole day will crash on me with all the things to do. And I'm teaching Italian on Zoom and English for BYU pathway. So it's all very, very busy. So I'm like, well, if I wait, it's going to be lunchtime, then it's time to prepare dinner. So it's never going to happen. So I decided I'm going to have to put some of my hobbies in the early morning. So I've done them first.
Right. Well, yeah, and that feeds your soul. I mean, there's a soul nourishment with those times that I think we lose, we don't value as much as we get in this pressure cooker of building our career and holding things together. And, I also heard you say, well, my husband goes off to do this, but I'm just sitting at the house. No, you're not. You're You're not just sitting at the house. You're very busy, productive, a successful woman. Um, and I think it's important that we can feel that. I, what got me started on my research for my first book, In Pursuit of Soul Joy, and this was back when I was 45, but I walked off a stage. I had prepared for weeks for this keynote. Standing ovation, walked off the stage. Everyone would have thought that looked really successful. Girl, I felt nothing. I didn't even, I felt nothing. That's when it hit me. It's like, something ain't right. I should have felt some kind of pleasure and success in that, but I couldn't even internalize it. I was so burned out. I was so burned out.
So that's your true experience here. So we're trying to push through exhaustion, do it all. So we are making the family happy, the husband happy, the kids are happy. And then we're like, oh yeah, I really have to work on. And I got this list of tasks and I love ticking when they're done. I'm like, woohoo! And then new tasks come in. So sometimes you just have to learn to say no, do we? And to learn that it's not possible because if I add that, I'm gonna have to take something else out from this routine. And it's important to listen to ourselves. I remember using that technique 1 or 2 summers ago. I was out with family in Utah or Idaho, and one of our girls, very young, she was about to have a panic attack because she was seeing something that triggers her. And so I realized what was going on. I said, what's happening here? She said, oh, every time I see that thing, I just get, it's like a horror movie. And so we were just by this wall, walking around, and we had to pass in front of that. There was no other way. And so I say, okay, let's touch the wall. What do you feel? So what is my hair like? And let's touch your hair. Your hair is lovely. What color is this? And I distracted her. And then we were just chatting. She forgot what we were talking about. And then we arrived in front of the object. And I said, what a lovely, the name of the object. And look at his lovely eyes that she hates so much. And what do you feel? She goes, nothing, nothing,
Oh, good for
absolutely
her.
nothing. Because she was so distracted. She was present to what's actually going on, what you can touch, what you can see. And this is so good for panic attacks. Bilateral stimulation is also very good, and EMDR as well when you have time with a therapist. So there are all these techniques, but sure enough, you girls listening, you're saying, I can't afford therapy. I don't have time. I don't have time for therapy. I don't have time to relax. And I'm like, either you find the time or the time will find you and you will be stopped because you can't do anything else. Because there's a point where we just crash, don't we?
That's right. You don't have the time not to do it because it's just going to get bigger. The more, the more we don't work on ourselves, the more we ignore it, the more we signal our nervous system stay in survival mode. And what you helped that precious soul you worked with was to get her nervous system more regulated. And your mirror neurons were working with her as well. Y'all co-regulated together. And that is a fabulous thing for us to do and be able to accept. But, life, this isn't a dress rehearsal. This is what we get. And it's really important to take care of ourselves and make the time because that's what's happened. There's this myth that you can't pour from an empty cup, and that's BS. We do it all the time, and we become the empty cup. And when we're that empty cup, and we're going, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Oh my God, no. That's the exact thing you need to do. You have to put yourself on that to-do list. And I guarantee I've got one right here. I'm not on it, but I know where I fit in. Most women do not put there's a guilt, a self, oh, I can't be selfish. That's being selfish.
Guilt, yeah.
No, no, it's not. We show up better for our relationships when we do take care of ourselves, when we do go get that therapy or that coach or whatever it is we might need
Mm.
uh, to take care of ourselves. So we're not working past capacity and we fill that cup again instead of walking around as an empty cup. Oh,
Uh,
that's a terrible place
mm.
to be.
Absolutely. And we have some time for a few tips. I realize that we need to restore this energy. We need to get those boundaries and to get this learning capacity to a greater speed. So I know that you have 4 or 5 good ideas that you would like to share with us.
So you mentioned boundaries a little, or we touched on boundaries. Boundaries are eminently important. I spend 60 hours of a master's degree teaching my students to set boundaries with clients because as a counselor, you have to you have to have those. But here's the importance of boundaries. We teach people how to treat us in the boundaries we set. Boundaries aren't naughty, boundaries aren't selfish, boundaries are very healthy. But sometimes just the thought of setting a boundary can freak someone out, can get that nervous system like, I'm being eaten by a tiger, I'm going to die. The body reacts. So I like to teach ladies just a little micro rebellion is what I call it. And it really works. Now, for those of us who have no problem setting boundaries, you're going to think, yeah, yeah, Julie, more. But for those of us that struggle, it's good to have a game plan. So the next time someone asks you to do something, if you want to do it or not, that's not the point. The point is to teach your nervous system to take a hot minute and let that stress cycle complete. Your body is waiting for your brain to give it that permission. So, so, so you say, "Wait, let me get back to you on that." You don't say yes or no immediately. That pause is for your nervous system. And you walk away and you breathe and maybe you journal, however big it activates you. And then you give the answer. And you can text a yes or a no. But we're so used to feeling pressure to give an answer immediately that nervous system just stays cycling. So that's just a little micro rebellion. I also want, we've got to be able to get back to nature. We are from nature. We've got to get back to nature. It's important. If someone is really activated, I want her to shake. Of course, I have a bunch of cattle out back. I mean, not, I mean, they're down in the pasture, but and my horses, you watch animals, they shake on a regular basis. We are made to do that same thing. So when we are really stuck in a stress cycle, to just shake and move some of that through feels so good. I know it sounds silly, but it feels so good. Or also to stand up, there's a little hip circle. Just do a little hip circle. As women, we hold so much tension in that pelvic floor, and I do a lot of chakra psychology, but that's your root and sacral chakras. Safety lives in your root. If your body doesn't feel safe, you're not going to come home to it. So we've got to convince ourselves we're safe. Sacral chakra is great where creativity and sexuality and flow lives. And we're so locked up right there. So that's that hip circle. It's simple. It's simple. Shaking and a walk. We're if we're in sympathetic or dorsal, we're not going to be able to meditate like all the gurus say go meditate. And I love meditation, don't get me wrong, but that frontal cortex, our brain narrows. It's not available. And sometimes you can feel like you're going to lose your mind. I can't sit here another minute, man. So if you do a walking meditation where you just follow heel toe, outside, no phone, breathe as you're going, notice your body, that can that can do a lot. I know everyone listening, they're thinking, I don't have time for that crap. You do. You need to do that for yourself. And be forewarned when we start to thaw or defrost. I remember Mama defrosting the freezer when I was little, those old refrigerators. But as we thaw, there could be some discomfort because we have been so good at dissociating from our interception, which is where that's the ability to know when you're hungry, know when you're tired, know, oh, my hip hurts over here. We've denied it for so long, it's gone offline. We've lost touch with it. As we come back online, there might be some pains that come up, but that's okay. Talk to your doctor, do some more walking meditation and take care of yourself.
That's great. And also, I think that's why I love gardening. I can't do much gardening here because this is super dry place. full of deer.
Yes.
So whatever I put out is going to be destroyed by the cold or the deer, whichever comes first. Snow up to yesterday. We're in May. I know that this goes on our episode goes live in the end of July, but in this moment it's cold. It's freezing cold.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, how am I going to go outside? But you have to have this decision made in your mind that you matter. And even your own family and husband will be so much happier if you are happier and you don't stress yourself so much. And in the end of the day, how many husbands come home and say, the corner under the cupboard isn't perfect. I mean, my dad used to do that, and I'm gonna chase him for that. He's now passed away, bless his heart. But
Yeah. Well, or instead of me cleaning that corner, how about we connect and I hold your
yeah,
hand and we go on a walk together and
yeah,
talk and
yeah, yeah.
enjoy life in the moment.
Just
Yeah.
literally looking out of a window. Is there a bird there? Are you gonna water a plant? Have you got a pet? Does your neighbor have a stroll outside and you can say hello? Just detach for a little bit from all these tasks. And it's so hard to
Right.
switch off. It's so hard.
It is, but I think everyone needs to have some unproductivity in their day. I'm not going to be productive. I'm going to go do nothing.
Mm,
And it's going to, now maybe it's 20 minutes, but that really sends your nervous system a good signal. I'm
yeah.
safe in this body. I can do nothing.
Yeah, and I know that some people will just turn the television on, those of a certain age, or other will just go on YouTube and scroll. But that is really not a big switch off, in my opinion, because we need to move the body. We need to get the circulation, lymphatic system moving. I used to do lots of yoga when I was much younger, gymnastics, dancing, and it just feels different. You have all this dopamine coming and you realize, actually, that's how it feels. I had forgotten. It doesn't just come from chocolate or from drinking or whatever. So we can maintain this energy while we're trying to learn all these new technologies and coping with AI. So these regulation practices we're using are supposed to help us so that our brain works. So cognitive function is working. Is that correct? Did I get this right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all connected. And in fact, we make brain cells in our tummy where serotonin is produced and things like that. I mean, it's all connected. It's all connected. And that self-talk is important too. I just invite ladies to bring curiosity and self-compassion to the process. We're so mean to ourselves. We're so mean to ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes we are so mean to ourselves that we're mean to other people as well. If you read some forums with comments, how we put each other down. I mean, I don't. But you think, wow, you must be very angry if you're saying this. And why are you so angry? Maybe you're angry because you don't like yourself, you're not happy with yourself. And so you project on other people. Who knows? We can be angry for many reasons. I'm not here to tell people how to feel, but it's important to feel this. And so, one more question before we close. So we have to learn all this new AI stuff and implement it at work because also they will help us if we have small children, teenagers looking for work.
Yeah,
So we have to know what this is. It's like when
yeah.
internet came in the 80s, 90s. Wow, what is this? We have to learn it. There is no way out. So now we have AI. So far, it's here to stay. Let's see what happens. So I'm a burning out woman and I do not have time for everything. What should I do now? I take this time off. And about AI learning, should I just cut off something to add this learning space? Cut off something not important, like cleaning the garage?
Yeah. 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 It's a great question. AI is not going away. And it can be like my mother, because mom is 85 and she would not touch it. So I do the things for her, but I
Mm,
think we have to hold that self-compassion space for ourselves that sometimes, especially at our age when we've been doing what we've been doing for so long, we're used to being the expert in the room, the person that knows what we're doing. And AI can certainly take you to a level where you're the novice again and you're having to learn things again. And that can kick your nervous system into, I'm failing. What's wrong? I mean, it can activate us. So I think it's important that we do things in bite-sized pieces. Um, I, and AI can be a friend and a foe. I mean, my son and I were talking about this the other day. I got in a fight with AI the other day, and he said, "Mama, I do that too." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But he said, "I'll say things to AI I wouldn't say to anyone else." Um, which is an aside. AI is my friend. AI really, when you can, but I encourage women go through a little course. I mean, don't try to do it without knowing, learning some things. There's some great courses out there. I'm sure you direct them to those courses, but it helps to have support in that as you go about learning something very new. And then embracing what AI can do for you. I had a surgery recently, and AI put together all my menus and recovery plans so that I could just give it to my husband and I could just go do
And just do
nothing.
it.
Uh, yeah.
And that's the
So,
thing. I mean, I don't know if you saw about 2 months ago, there was Mel Robbins talking on YouTube, and I'm aware we have 2 minutes, so I'll just go fast. And she was talking about AI, and this lady that was the guest was telling her what AI does. And in the end, she was like, "Really? Can do this? Can do that? That's amazing!" But then people in the forum under the YouTube video were saying, "But what is AI? Where do I find it?" And I'm like, "Okay, guys, go to Google and write down Gemini AI. If you have a Google account, it's there. Press
yeah,
Gemini. If you have an account, you start, you write any question like, what's the weather today in Oklahoma? What to cook for
yeah,
dinner? And it will talk to you as it talks to a person. That's what AI is. But it's also in the new cameras, in new, the R6 from Canon or anything, Photoshop. It's got AI inside. AI, it's everywhere. It's just a large language model. It instead of replying to you with a forum or with a Facebook link, it will reply talking as a normal person. And then you have Gemini, a chat GPT, and you have Claude, and you have lots of 10 or 20 now, and they're going all the
perplexity.
time.
Yeah,
And so you have to get the time, go to Google and say, what is AI?
yeah, yeah.
And,
It
you know,
it it's a great tool.
you, well, thank you, Julie. That's been amazing. I would like to have you 3 times, but yeah, you're busy.
Thank you, friends. You're a joy. I've enjoyed getting to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Hopefully, this has been useful for you. So please make sure you share and subscribe so more people will be able to create the life that they want. Thank you again. Bye bye.